Hey guys, Rods Over Bricks here. This is a little update on the gigantic monster truck here out of Connects that I'm building. Just for scale, there's my fist. Pretty big. The reason why I haven't posted an update, I've got part 1 and part 2 out right now. The problem I'm having is I'm trying to run this thing on a 550 motor, 2S and 3S LiPo. And the problem I keep facing, let me show you here at the back. Now, mind you, some parts are taken off right now. I've just scavenged them for other builds in the meantime. As you can see really up close, if my camera would focus, there we go. I've got little zip ties on the gear connectors, and that seems to hold them a lot better. But the problem I'm facing, this is like the third or fourth different back axle unit I've tried to swap into this thing. No matter what I do, the rods are just twisting, breaking, and there's nothing I can do to make them spin these tires. If I put a limiter on my controller, I'm using a Spectrum. What the hell is it? It's a Spectrum DX3 controller and receiver combo. If I run it on 3S, I can turn it down to 50%, and it'll move. But I'd really like this thing to be able to do like donuts, possibly even, jump it in the near future. I know it wouldn't land. It's a one-way ticket to the crash site. But what it looks like I'm going to have to do in the near future with the back is on each side I've got a black rigid rod running through on each side, and they're not quite meeting in the middle, but they're feeding that gear over here and that gear over here. And what I think I might have to do is run like a 1/4-inch steel rod through it all. And I think with that, I'll be able to stop twisting it right here. In this area is where it's broken. I started out using the gray typical long rods, and they were just way too springy. They would just break immediately. The black rigid rods hold a little bit, up to about 50% throttle, 60% throttle. Otherwise, everything just disintegrates. Yeah, I've even, if you see here on the blue gear, you'll see a gear connector coming in on that side and over here. I just drilled a small hole. That way I could have 2 gear connectors on it. And this one here being inside a hole, it helps the gear clip from coming out. Unlike this side where it can just detach and come towards the camera from your point of view. And nothing's working. So stay tuned. I'm going to try to get this thing up and going in the next week or so and start building a big body for it. I was really happy with the front suspension. I drove this thing a little bit off camera, but I just never had that great of results. So anyways, sorry for the delay. I was really hoping to show you guys one hell of a body going on it right now and kind of making it a little bit of a homage to the Overdrive monster truck that Connects released in 2000, 2001. Something that if they had these electronics and they were willing to sell a kit like this, what would it look like now? I think the wheels and tires are pretty accurate to what Connects would have given us. There's the difference after 20 years, 24 years. But I think for now, I'm just going to side burner this thing and get along with a few other projects. And that leads me back to this thing here. It doesn't look like much, and it's really not. It's got no suspension, nothing really fancy going on. This also does have, I robbed the electronics out of it, of course, from the gigantic monster truck. But this has my Spectrum DX3 receiver inside there, a pretty huge Surpass Hobbies ESC, and a 550 motor, 21 turn. And this thing's just been kind of fun. I've been trying to make this thing resemble like what Tyco would have done, in the late 90s, early 2000s, where the tires are a little bit disproportionate to the body size. Got a big black bumper sticking out in the front, all kind of ugly-like. The bumper that we all unscrewed and took off when we got our new RC trucks, 25 years ago. Something kind of like this, or this. And, so I'm just really liking this thing. I wanted it to kind of look toy-like, which it does, with the huge Connects motor up here in the front, all chromed out. It has no suspension, but what it does have is just a lot of ruggedness. Without the suspension, I was able to really just make this thing strong as heck in the front. The rear needs a little bit of beefing up, but we'll get there. This thing pulls great wheelies. It's proven to be quite reliable so far. Everything here is Connects, except for, of course, the electronics, motor included. And in this shaft right here, I don't know if I can get it on camera, but I did sink, there we go, a couple of really small bearings into it. That one's just there to keep the bearing from coming out. And zip ties again on the gear clips. I got the battery in the back. I just really wanted it to do wheelies, and yeah, it does. I'm just stopping on the monster truck for right now, but it will come back. I've also got an old project. Let's see here. There it is. It's a gigantic go-kart. I hid the motor inside the faux two-stroke looking motor with the cooling fins on the top and all. I might bust that thing out and put the electronics back in it. Actually, you know what? Let me show you guys what's going on with this thing here. We'll take a little short break from this, and let me show you the go-kart. Now, this thing as well is gigantic. Here's fist for reference. I would say it's maybe 32 inches long or so from stem to stern. What was kind of fun about this one, when I built it and drove it, I didn't want to see the servo up front. I really wanted it to look like a go-kart, and it does. So all the steering goes through that rod, and it's just all the way in the back, hidden underneath just, a little blue box as best as I could. Now, the servo's not in this right now. There are no electronics in this thing right now. But I might try to get this thing back up on the road at some point in the near future. It looked really cool. The only problem with this thing is that the chassis was about as rigid as an al dente noodle. As you can see here, if I lift up on the corner, it's just, that's off the ground, and those are on the ground. It is very flexible. I didn't really like that, but it worked. And I did have this on a 3600 kV brushless motor at the time. As I found out, there is no need to run that much power through Connects. Everything just melts or breaks or twists or burns. So right now, it seems like the 380 motors are working out like the best. In a 550 motor, especially a hobby grade one, it gives me about all the power and speed I need, and it's right at the breaking point of, twisting things apart almost anytime you blip the throttle. So inside this little faux motor here in the back, it's missing some pieces right now. It used to have a little top to it and a spark plug wire and all. But below the cooling fins, there was just some gears here, a little fake exhaust with an expansion chamber. And it was one-wheel drive. Just this one over here would go. That one here was just idling along. With these sticky of tires, you can see how soft these things are. And how wide it was, if I took a hard corner, it would either scrub the front tires in the dirt, or it would just start breaking gear clips back here due to the torsion difference between the left and right rear tires. And the steering wheel, it's a Orange County Choppers Connects piece. So that's kind of fun. It seems like it worked out really well for the scale of the vehicle here. But for now, I'm just going to keep on to this little RC truck for the next day or two. It's got some places that I need to beef up a little bit. And in a short while, I think I'll come back to the gigantic monster truck. But just taking a break from it and just working on some other things. Just trying to have some fun with it, The Basher, as you guys have seen in a couple other videos, I've upgraded it quite a bit after trying to do a whole bunch of backflip testing. Got a few weak links all worked out, and I'm just hoping sometime in the near future to go to a skate park for my first time and, play around with a little Basher out there. So, anyways, here's my generic update. Hope your guys' month has been well, and I will see you guys in the next one.